Welcome to Good Games Spawn Point, the show for gamers by gamers. I'm Hex.
And I'm Bajo.
And I am Darren.
Coming up on the show, we battle it out on the digital tabletop of Card Wars Adventure Time.
Whoa, man. And we lead some cute mice to a cheesy reward in Mousecraft.
Hey, Darren, speaking of mice, didn't you have one powering your backup battery?
Ah, yes, Basil. Well, since my new plutonium rod upgrade, my backup power generator is now kinetic and recharges using my own movement. So I decided to let Basil go, and last I heard, he was enjoying his retirement in the Caribbean. I still miss him, though. He was an ever-reliable companion.
Oh, Darren, you know what'll make you feel better? Giving us your challenge for this week.
Affirmative, Bajo. Load up those brainy data modules, spawnlings. It's time for Darren's challenge. This week, I'm asking you, who runs the Roost Cafe in Animal Crossing New Leaf? I'll reveal the answer at the end of the show.
It's a great question, Darren, but now it's time for the news with Goose.
Thanks, guys. Goose here with all the gaming news from around the globe. One speedy gamer has successfully beaten Spelunky in under 2 minutes, setting a new world record. The player Pibonacci used a combination of jetpack, compass and teleporter to set a time of 1 minute and 55 seconds, beating the previous record by 6 seconds. The notoriously difficult platformer has received a lot of interest from speedrunners since its launch, but this latest effort is insanely impressive. That's some crazy teleporter action. The Massachusetts Institute of Technology is testing materials that will be used to build soft robots. Most robots are built from hard, rigid materials in order to be durable, but this new foam and wax design should allow robots to change between soft and hard to best suit their task and environment. And that's all the news for this week. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Goose. All right, guys, it's time for the cheesiest game ever with Mousecraft.
Mousecraft is the first game from small Polish indie developer Crunching Koalas. A strange name for a developer, isn't it? Crunching Koalas.
Maybe it's about doing crunches. Maybe they crunch a lot.
Where do the koalas come into it, though?
That's it, Bajo. Feel the burn.
You play as the feline scientist Schrödinger, who uses mice to collect valuable blue shards to help fund his experiments.
The scientist is a sly reference to the famous Schrödinger's cat paradox, which demonstrated the problem of the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum mechanics applied to everyday objects. The thought experiment starts with a cat, a flask of poison, and a radioactive source.
Okay, Darren, maybe you'll tell us about the quantum physics stuff later.
Oh, I'd love to.
Yeah. Mousecraft is primarily a puzzle game, so it makes sense for the developers to focus in on that tricky gameplay.
Affirmative, Bajo. Your objective here is to guide 3 mice across the levels to the glorious cheese that awaits you. The mice will simply keep walking back and forth until they make it to the cheese, or until they perish.
That's right, Darren. The mice can jump up 1 block, but if they fall more than 3 blocks, it's game over for the poor little guys.
Trying to guide your mice to safety reminded me a lot of that 90s puzzle game Lemmings.
Oh, an accurate observation, Bajo.
Thank you, Darren.
The developers themselves describe the gameplay as a hybrid of Lemmings and Tetris, which is definitely evident as it uses the classic geometric tetrominos we know from Tetris.
I was worried that it was all starting to get a little bit repetitive, but thankfully they added some new items to the mix. Things like the bomb helped out for clearing passages, and the jelly blocks can save mice falling from heights.
Yeah, I like those too. I did feel bad for my mice, though. They kept dying. If they weren't falling, they were drowning. And I did drop some blocks on them. Accidentally, of course.
Oh dear, Bajo. Well, there are also evil robot rats called ratoids. They behave just like your regular rodents, except for their annoying habit of attacking your mice. Those fiends!
Yes, they made things very difficult because I kept having to anticipate their movements and work around them.
I found the timing of when to drop blocks into place was a little bit unforgiving, especially when dropping them around your mice. And when each mouse dies, its little ghost floats away.
I don't think that quite got the difficulty level right either. Some of those levels really racked my brain. I'd often have to stop and think for a few minutes to piece together the solution in my mind before carrying out the actions.
It's a good thing there's an undo button available. This will let you redo your moves in the middle of a level, or you can reset the entire level and start again.
Yes, that undo button got me out of some hairy situations, Darren.
Me too. We should wrap this up though. Bajo, what are you giving it?
Well, I think there are some great ideas here, but it's just not deep enough, so I'm giving it 6.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Well, I think there are some rough edges, but I enjoyed guiding my mice past these various challenges to their cheesy rewards, so I'm giving it 7.5 out of 10 rubber chickens.
All this talk of cheese makes me want a cheese toasted sandwich. Darren, could you please whip some up? I think 7 would be about the right number.
Negative. No time for sandwiches, Bajo. The spawnlings are ready to code with Goose and Julian.
Yeah.
All right.
Are you ready?
Ready.
Ready.
Oh, roll the tape, Carrie.
Thanks, guys. Welcome back to our series on making your very own game with Scratch. What's on for today, Julian?
Today we'll be adding the barriers to our GGSP Invaders game.
Ah, yes, because what good is a game without a challenge? So, Spawnlings, load up those program files from the previous lessons. Now, let's import the sprites for the 3 barriers.
On the Sprites panel, click Barrier 1. Then go to Events. Drag across a When Green Flag Clicked block into the Scripts panel. Go to Motion and drag across a Go to X, Y block and slot it underneath. Change X to -150 and Y to -70.
Then go to the second barrier and do the same, only with an X value of 0 and a Y value of -70. Then go to the third barrier and add the same 2 blocks, only with X as 150 and Y as -70. And there we go, they're in. But everyone's chickens and lasers keep passing straight through them. What can we do about that, Julian?
No worries, we just need to add collision detection. Select the Darren laser sprite. Below the if-then loop we made before, add another if-then loop. From operators, nest 2 OR blocks inside each other for the if clause, just like we did earlier in the if-then loop. From sensing, insert touching blocks inside all 3 of the OR slots and set them to barriers 1, 2, and 3.
Then from looks, insert a hide block, and from motion, a go to block, and set it to Darren.
Now select Bajo's chicken sprite. Add a fresh green flag tab from events, and from control, slot in a forever loop below it. Inside the forever loop, from control, add an if-then. From operators, add 2 OR blocks, one inside the other. Go to sensing and pop touching blocks into all 3 of the OR slots, and then set them to each of the 3 barriers. From looks, add a hide inside the if-then, and a go-to block from motion underneath. Then in the drop-down menu, set it to Bajo. Ah, there! Now, let me guess, I just need to drag that code onto Hex's chicken and then change the go-to value to Hex.
Exactly. Now do the same for the goose chicken sprite.
Ah, now all the chickens and lasers are blocked by the barriers. This game's really starting to come together.
Next time, we'll add lives and a score, because otherwise we can't win or lose.
Ah, yes, I'll be looking forward to it. Remember, Spawnlings, don't forget to save that code. And if you'd like to rewatch this or any of the previous lessons, just go to our website here. Happy coding.
Until next time, Julian out.
Goose out.
Thanks, Goose and Julian.
Darren, is now a good time to have all those cheese toasted sandwiches?
Negative, Bajo. You have our spawn point to get to. Chop chop.
I'm pretty hungry though. We can grab some on the way.
I'll be on standby if there are any tricky questions.
All right, Hex, it's time to load up some questions on the the question Rooney Doodad, the question makeathon, the question machine
The
thing.
laptop?
The laptop, that's the one.
All right, well, first up, we've got this one from Game Master, who is in Mudtown, Western Australia. Not long ago, you guys did a review on the game Spin Tires. I got really interested, so I asked my mum if I could get it, but I didn't know if it was a CD-ROM. Please answer. P.S. Datrin is not a noob, and neither is Hex, but Bajo, you are now a superstar at eating cheese sandwiches. Ah! Well, Game Master Spin Tires is currently only available for download for Windows PCs. It's available from a few online stores, so if you do a quick internet search, then you should be able to find it quite easily.
Also, you can download a free demo from the game's official site if you want to give it a go before buying the full version.
Always a good idea to try before you buy, isn't it, Bajo? But let's move right along to this one from the Doctor, who is in TARDIS, New South Wales.
An obvious Doctor Who fan there, I think, Hex. Hello, Hex and Bajo. 1. What is the name of that game where there's a dog and a rabbit that investigate crimes that you reviewed a few years back? P.S. Can you please get Darren off the show because he is annoying and is pointless to the show? He always bumps into Ask GG and you two from the Doctor. Well, Doc, I'm pretty sure the game you're talking about is Sam and Max. We reviewed The Devil's Playhouse Episode 1, which was the first episode in their latest series.
They've been around for ages, though. Their first game, Hit the Road, came out over 20 years ago in 1993.
Whoa!
Hello.
That's pretty old. But as for getting Darren off the show, I don't think we'd really want to, Hex, because he's always helping us out with useful facts and good information.
He does definitely have a habit of interrupting us here at the Ask Good Game desk.
Yeah, all the time. Well, to be fair, we do often call on his expert...
Whoa!
Hello, Bajo and Hex. My antennae were burning. Did you require my assistions?
Wow, that was quite an entrance, Darren. Since when did you get your own royal fanfare?
Oh, it's just a little something I thought would help announce my presence. Fanfares and honours music are often used to announce the arrival or presence of someone of great importance.
I see now, and you thought you were qualified to have your own fanfare.
Affirmative.
All right, well, Darren, we're actually just talking about the fact that you interrupt Ask Good Game all the time.
Yeah.
So I think we could probably find some questions for your amazing factual knowledge to be put into practice.
Oh, excellent. I would be happy to help you.
Right, well, we've got this one from Joshua, who is in Cake Town, New South Wales.
Anything for my loyal serfs.
Hey, I would like to know 4 things. 1. What was Zelda based of and its Triforce? 2. What was the Virtual Boy? 3. How rare is it to get adamantine in Terraria? 4. When will Minecraft get new ores? Bye!
See, Darren, lots of facts and stuff for you to answer.
Oh, indeed. Well, Joshua, the inspiration behind the Zelda games came from the designer Shigeru Miyamoto's childhood. He used to explore the forests near his home. There were, apparently, lakes and caves around the forests, so he wanted to capture that feeling of exploring the landscape.
Oh, that's fascinating, Darren. What about the name Zelda? Do you know where that came from?
Of course. Miyamoto-san discovered that the wife of the famous American author F. Scott Fitzgerald was named Zelda, and he felt that the name was pleasant and significant. So she was the inspiration for the princess.
Oh, and did you know that the famous actor Robin Williams named his daughter Zelda after the games?
Everyone knows that, Hex. As for the Triforce, well, Miyamoto-san hasn't confirmed its origin, at least not as far as my database can find. But the same emblem was used by the late Hojo clan from the Kanto region in Japan during the Sengoku period. It was also referred to as the 3 dragon scales, so perhaps that was the inspiration.
As for the Virtual Boy, well...
The Virtual Boy was a console Nintendo released in 1995 in Japan and North America. Users had to put their face directly onto the console, and it would then display a primitive 3D image.
Yes, it was kind of like a very early form of virtual reality, wasn't it?
Essentially, yes. The issue was the displays and hardware weren't up to the task. It could only output very basic graphics, and, worst of all, to save money, Nintendo used red LEDs for the display, so the only color it could output was a painful red. It also didn't feature any of the motion tracking technology in some of the upcoming virtual reality displays.
Didn't it also make everyone feel really sick?
Affirmative, Hex. Robo spew everywhere. Oh, it was a complete failure. It sold less than 1 million units, had no good games, and was discontinued after just over a year on sale.
And how rare is adamantite in Terraria?
It's pretty rare, Bajo.
That sounds pretty rare.
Yeah, very rare. In fact, it will only appear once you destroy 3 demon or crimson altars with a pwn hammer.
And finally, when will Minecraft get new ores?
I have no idea, Hex. I haven't seen any discussion about possible new ores in upcoming updates.
Right, well, thanks for all that, Darren. Very informative, as usual.
Anytime, Bajo. Goodbye, Bajo. Goodbye, Hex.
Kind of want a
Farewell, my
fanfare of my own.
Yeah,
Be
me too.
awesome.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move right along to this one from the King of Cheese Sandwiches, who is in cheese sandwich heaven in South Australia.
We'll get to cheese sandwiches in a moment, but I just want to know what your fanfare would be. What song would you have playing?
Oh, I feel like my fanfare would be some kind of really cool, like, jazzy tune. Like,
Yeah, like what? Oh,
and then
nice.
I'd be like, hey! And then I'd arrive and everyone would be like, well done.
Mine would be dubstep.
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be
We'd go,
pretty cool.
Drop the bass.
Bajo.
And then
the
I would
end.
break dance in on my back
You can't break
and
dance.
go spin around and go.
Hi, Good Game. I really like your show and watch it every week, no matter what. I've been really interested in your new Make a Game with Goose and Julian, and I really want to start programming. But there's one problem. I don't know how to get Scratch. Please answer my question, otherwise I will be a gaming noob forever. P.S. Do these faces. Blue. Meow. From the King of Cheese Sandwiches.
Well, Your Cheesy Highness. Scratch is actually a free browser-based programming tool. So just do an internet search for Scratch programming and it should be one of the first results. Or, if you would like the exact address, then go here.
Yes, you'll need a fairly recent web browser to run it, but chances are whatever browser you're using will work fine.
And if for whatever reason that doesn't work, then you can download an offline version from their website as well.
All right, well, good luck creating your games, Your Highness. But I think we've got time for one more question today, so let's go with this one from an unknown spawnling who is somewhere in Victoria.
Can you get Cliff Horse, Notch's new game, on the computer free on no download? If yo, can please respond.
Well, Mystery Spawnling, you can get Cliff Horse free on computer. You'll be able to find it from its amazingly terrible official site, cliffhorse.com. It's a bit deceptive though, because on the website it says you have to buy the game with a Dogecoin, but that's just a bit of a joke. There's a download link that you can just click on and it'll download for free.
You will have to download it, but it's probably one of the smallest downloadable games ever, weighing in at only 10 megabytes.
Maybe it's so small because it's kind of rubbish and almost has no game in it.
That's probably exactly why, Hex.
Well, maybe you'll enjoy that, but don't get your hopes up. On that note, we're out of time for this week, so if you'd like to ask us a question, then you can go here and do just that.
Hex, would you like me to do a fanfare for you to leave?
Yeah, but it has
Okay.
to be the jazzy one.
All right,
like
I'll do the
I
jazzy
want.
one. Sure. Go for it.
This sounds like my fanfare is a fart noise.
All right, I'm ready to do it. Oh.
Okay, you guys, it's time to floop some pigs with Card Wars Adventure Time.
Card Wars originally appeared in an episode of the popular cartoon Adventure Time as a fictional card battle game, and now it's been turned into a real game. Now, card games can be complicated, so lucky for us, I'm here to explain all the rules to the spawnlings.
Oh, Darren, I don't know if we have time to go through all the rules.
You each have 4 lanes, which you designate to be a certain type of landscape at the start of the match. That determines what kind of creature cards can be played upon it. Useless swamp creatures can only be played on useless swamp landscapes, for example. You then take turns playing cards and letting your creatures battle it out against the other creature in the opposite lane. But if a lane is empty, then creatures can do damage directly to their rival hero and ultimately destroy them.
All right, thanks for that, Darren.
There are 3 types of card you can use, with creature, spell, or building cards available. Creatures are the heart of your deck and have their own various attack and defense stats, as well as a floop ability. Spells offer a range of powerful effects, and buildings can massively buff a creature's stats. They're both considered rainbow cards, which means they can be played on any landscape type. There are also several rainbow creature cards, which are excellent for making your deck more versatile.
Yes, all right, Darren, I think that's enough rules for now.
When a match starts, you begin with 6 cards in your hand and 2 magic points. Each card costs a certain amount of magic to use. cards. Using a creature's floop also costs magic. With every turn that passes, you draw 1 extra card and gain 1 extra point of magic to use. Thus, only weak cards can be played early on in games, while stronger cards can be played after several turns.
Darren, I think that's enough.
But there are so many more rules to discuss.
I'm sure there are, Darren, but I think the Spallings have got the hang of it. It is a solid card game, though, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they nail the fundamentals. I was always ready to jump in for one more round. I really liked how all the different landscapes work too. They're kind of like a class system. For example, nice lands creatures have weak attacks but strong healing floops, while cornfields creatures have high attack but low defense, while their floops boost other creatures' attacks.
It just gives you lots of freedom with your deck, so you're not locked into any one class and can mix and match to your heart's content. But what did you think of the skill wheel mechanic?
Oh, I actually quite liked it. Basically, it's just like a little skill game that can potentially boost your attack power or allow you to block enemy attacks. And if you get really good at it, it can make a huge difference. It just gives the battles an extra element of skill and unpredictability. One thing I didn't like, however, was though that this has free-to-play mechanics in it, but it's not a free-to-play game.
Affirmative. To start a battle costs at least 1 heart, and the further you go into the campaign, the more hearts each match costs. And hearts take time to regenerate, which stops you from playing altogether if you use them all. If you don't want to wait, you can spend some premium currency, known as gems, to replenish your hearts.
Yeah, that just seems like a really greedy roadblock to put in. I mean, I've already purchased the game, don't shut me out of it. And if you're going to do that, then at least make the game completely free.
Yeah, I know. Especially because it's not long before you find yourself against much higher level opponents with better decks than you. So you have to go back and grind through earlier stages to build up your deck and level up your hero. Which is doubly annoying when the game locks you out after a few matches.
Affirmative. Building a decent deck is also a rather slow process because getting new cards is essentially random. You can also craft specific cards, but you have to unlock the recipes for better cards by progressing through the campaign. But because getting cards is random, it's extremely difficult to collect the cards you need to craft the card you want.
Yeah, and what's even more frustrating is that you can't even just pick one hero and stick with them. I mean, I was using Jake for ages and got him up to level 10, but then I had to battle Jake in the campaign. And of course, I couldn't make him battle himself. So then you have to go and spend ages leveling up another character to a high enough level. But anyway, let's talk about the multiplayer.
Multiplayer, or Deck Wars, enters you into a 2-week-long tournament with 100 players. As you win matches, you earn trophies, which determine your ranking within the tournament. At the end of the 2 weeks, every player is rewarded with a prize ranging from coins and gems to special rare cards.
It bothers me that multiplayer doesn't actually let you play against another human, only artificial intelligence. Sorry, Darren.
That's all right.
Instead, you compete against a real person's deck and hero, but they're completely controlled by AI. It is fun competing for a good prize, but I think they missed the point of multiplayer. The multi part. Multi means multiple players.
But overall, I think it's a great card game, and I just love watching those little holographic characters battle it out. It really brings those cards to life. So I'm giving it 7 out of 10.
Yes, it is full of that Adventure Time charm, but those lame hearts do hold it back a bit. I think it's worth a 7 as well.
It's a shame that flooping the pig in the game wasn't as impressive as it was in the show.
Well, sadly, that's all the time we have for this week.
Yes, but luckily that means it's time to answer Darren's challenge.
Affirmative, Hex. Earlier on the show, I asked you who runs the Roost Cafe in Animal Crossing New Leaf. The answer is Brewster! He's a quiet yet sophisticated pigeon with a deep interest in coffee. And since professional coffee makers are called baristas, they combined that with roosters to make his name Brewster.
Clever. That's one hipster pigeon, Darren. Next week on the show, we track down some delicious baked goods in Monsters Ate My Birthday Cake.
And we'll build our very own superhero hangout in Supernauts.
And Spawnlings, don't forget to put in your votes for the greatest game of all time. Here. Voting closes on the 27th of July, so hurry or you'll miss out. Remember, you'll need a working email address, and if you need help, ask your grown-ups.
Well, until next time, Bajo out.
Hex out.
Darren out.
Darren, you mentioned something about cheese sandwiches before, but they've yet to be presented to us.
I'd love to, but I'm afraid my cheese chamber has run completely dry.
What? No cheese? To the shops!
Hurry! Get some cheddar if they've got it.